Hello YouTube, welcome back to Ben Goes Electric. One of the biggest issues stopping people from buying electric cars is the charging infrastructure, especially across the UK. And in this video series I'm going to try and bust that myth and show you the charging infrastructure around the UK. And I'm going to start off here in Liverpool in the Merseyside area, as you can see. So this is Ben Goes Electric and this is what the charging around the UK looks like. So in the series we're starting off in Merseyside and the northwest area, looking at the ultra rapid charging stations where there are multiple of these chargers. We're going to be looking at a few different operators today. These are going to be EV on the Move, Osprey, Tesla, Gridserve, MFG, Fastned, IONIQ and Apple Green Electric. These are just a handful of the operators in the UK, but these are the sites I had a look at today in the Merseyside area. So we're going to start with EV on the Move. EV on the Move operate around about 25 sites in the UK, most around the northwest, but a few down in the Midlands area. Base charge is 65p per kilowatt, but new sites usually have a 49p per kilowatt limited time deal. The one I'm looking at today is north of Liverpool in a town called Kirby, just off the M57 on the East Lancs Road. It's just off the side by the Euro garages and a McDonald's, where you'll find most of the EV on the Move as they're owned by Euro garages. Most of the sites that EV on the Move operate are 4, 6 or 8 chargers. The one we're looking at today are 4 chargers, and they are using the Tesla V4 design, but these are open to all EVs. You even have an accessible bay for people who have larger vehicles or require that accessible space around their car. As I mentioned, they use the Tesla V4 Supercharger, as they're known as the white tombstone. As you can see, the Tesla on the handle. These are known for their reliability and great speeds at 250 kilowatts. So it's as simple as plugging your car in and tapping your card on the reader and the charging will begin. You can also see this in the Tesla app as well. The great thing is you can see the price of charging on the main road before you pull in. And when it comes to amenities around the chargers, which is quite important, you've got a McDonald's of course, where you can grab some food or even use the toilet if need be. You've even got a Starbucks drive-through, and of course you've got the Euro garages as well, which has a spa, a Greggs, all this normal stuff you'd find there, and a cash point. So really it's quite well served for amenities. You're not just stuck in the middle of nowhere. EV on the Move I think are quite good. The only thing they can improve is maybe some more chargers in locations, as they can kind of get busy, but it's quite quiet as you can see. Just on the other side of the McDonald's you have the another operator, Osprey. So Osprey are the third largest charging network in the UK, with over 1,000 public rapid and ultra rapid chargers. And by the end of 2024 they added another 300 rapid chargers, so they are growing very nicely. These though are some of the older units in place. These are the old 50 kilowatt Marston units, so they're a lot slower and older. I'd say avoid them if you're looking for a quick charge, but they do have their benefits because as the older units they have both CCS and CHAdeMO for Nissan Leaf owners, so that's good to see. Quite a dim display and hard to see, but you do expect that from the older units. Osprey charge a flat tariff of 82p per kilowatt across the whole network, including these slower units, which is a shame to see, and hopefully they'll lower that price. Located just next to this nice pub, and of course you've got the same amenities as the EV on the Move, so you've got the McDonald's and the Starbucks on the other side. So they're also quite well served, perfect for if you're going in for a spot of lunch. Because of the slower speeds, you're not going to have to race back out for your car. They also support FRID cards and the Octopus Electroverse card, so you can find some discounts, so it's not as bad, but they still seem to be one of the higher charging operators. So from that site we're just going to do a quick journey down the motorway to Prescott, because like I said they opened new ultra rapid stations and we're going to go and visit one of them right now. So just a quick journey down, and the most important thing about charging is not just the chargers but it's also the location. So located in the town centre of Prescott at the Cables Shopping Park, we have the ultra rapid charging station from Osprey. This features 8 single bay 300 kilowatt chargers, so there's no shared power. Each can deliver up to 300 kilowatts as long as your car allows that. For most cars, you'll see about 150 kilowatts charging speed. These are the Chem Power units, the tall, skinny units with the very long cables, which are quite light and easy to use due to the compressions on the top. They both support CCS2 and CHAdeMO, which is quite rare for new charging stations as they're moving away just to CCS. There's plenty of signage around stating they're for electric vehicles charging only, so they're not blocked by petrol or diesel cars. And again, more signs just to explain how to charge, just to make that experience a lot easier for you and less stressful, as that's another reason that puts people off electric vehicles. Not only have you got those 8 charging spots from Osprey, just up the car park you also have some units from PodPoint from Tesco. These are a lot slower, you're looking at about the same as home charging, around about 7 kilowatts. So it's not going to be a rapid charging, but it's great just to trickle charge while you're shopping around the area, spending like an hour or two to just pour a little bit into your battery rather than a whole rapid charge. So that's also great to see. You've got a selection of shops here, including like M&S and The Range. So again, plenty of amenities. It's a nice bright lit area, nice and safe. So again, it's very important for chargers to be where you need them. So just down the road, we have another operator called IONIQ. And IONIQ operate around about 28 sites across the UK and the Republic of Ireland, and a lot more distributed across the country than EV on the Move, which is great to see. And you can even find them in Europe as well if you go for a drive in Europe. This one is located just off the M57 and 62 on the way in or out of Liverpool, depending on the direction of travel, at the Village Hotel. So if you're on your way in to Liverpool, it's a great site just to pull off and charge before you enter the city centre. When it comes to the pricing, they operate a bit differently. So you can just pay with contactless and that'll cost you 79p per kilowatt hour. But you can download that app and it'll drop it down to 75p. And then they have 2 different subscriptions where it can go as low as 43p per kilowatt hour, paying £10.50 a month. At this site you have 8 single bay 350 kilowatt chargers and 2 dual bay chargers at 150 kilowatts and an old 50 kilowatt dual bay charger right at the back as well. So these are the units, very simple, contactless payment is supported as stated. And they all have CCS2, so sorry Nissan Leaf owners, as you'll have to bring your adapter to use these chargers. One of the rare things that IONIQ do that you don't see a lot is the drive-through bays. So if you're towing or got a big car or don't like reversing, you have these bays here where you can just simply drive all the way through. You've also got the Village pub next door as well that do barbecue food. So again, amenities, and obviously it's a whole hotel, so you've got places for the toilet and for food. It's a nice lit car park as well, so very safe. If you live around a lot of IONIQ chargers, I would 100% recommend, as the price at 43p per kilowatt with this subscription brings it down to one of the cheapest EV charging operators in the country. So from that, we'll move back on now down the M62 to our next charger, and it's another Osprey charger, a mega hub. And as you can see, again, the location of chargers is very great. You're not far from the next big hub, so if one is full, it's only a quick drive down the road to the next one. This one is located, again, just outside of Liverpool on a town called Rainhill, which is just south of Prescott where we were originally. Again, on a key route in and out of Liverpool, so a perfect place to stop and charge. Again, the same Chem Power chargers, but here we have 16 single bay chargers delivering 300 kilowatts on the CCS, and all also have CHAdeMO delivering 50 kilowatts. So again, plenty availability for new and older electric cars. And of course, they're charging the same 82p per kilowatt hour, so again, quite on the pricey side compared to the IONIQ down the road. And remember, you do require to scan a QR code to register your parking here, otherwise you'll be hit with a fine. But again, amenities, you've got the Manor Farm pub and restaurant, again, for eating and toilets facilities. And this charger is great for people who live locally and also journeying in and out of Liverpool. So again, great charger. And our journey continues down the M62 again to our next stop. As you can see, there's plenty of charging hubs on the M62. And the next one is at the Birchwood surfaces, and we've got some Tesla Superchargers. Tesla operate around 140 locations across the UK and Ireland, and the great news for all EV drivers is that over 42 of them are now open to all EVs and not just Tesla owners, so they're great for stopping, but of course make sure you check in the Tesla app for these locations that are open to all, as you can't just turn up to any charger. Here, sadly, at Birchwood Services, it's a Tesla only supercharger, so sorry other EV owners, but more news on that in a bit. Birchwood Services is on the eastbound of the M62, but it is accessed from both sides at the junction just before it. And here you have 8 Tesla Superchargers. These are the V2 models, which peak at 150 kilowatts, and they're also shared between 2 stalls. So if a car pulls up next year, then that power is split. So these are the quite slow but older chargers, but still great for your EVs today. You can tell these are the older V2 chargers, as of course they include CCS2 for the newer Teslas, but they also have the old proprietary Type 2 connector that Tesla used to use for the Model S and Model X. So of course those cars can charge here without using an adapter. The great thing about the Tesla Supercharger network is the pricing, going as low as 21p per kilowatt hour off peak for Tesla owners and non-Tesla owners who have got the membership. And if you haven't got the membership, it's a bit more expensive, but still way below the other operators. Just a note for the Tesla owners, this is quite a busy site due to it being an old one with the slower chargers and only 8 of them, so it can be quite congested, but cars do move in and out quite a lot. I think this is just down to Liverpool is actually quite lacking in the Tesla Supercharger availability. Next up, we have Gridserve, who operate over 190 locations in the UK, including their electric forecourts, electric super hubs, and electric retail hubs. Sadly, this is none of them. These are the relic from the past. These are the old chargers they took over from Ecoticity. Back installed in the early 2010s across the motorway network, they are 50 kilowatt dual bay chargers that feature CCS, CHAdeMO, and even AC charging for Renault Zoes. I would really strongly suggest you don't use these unless you have to. They're very slow, old, and they still charge the same price that Gridserve charge at their faster 350 kilowatt chargers, which is now 85p per kilowatt when using contactless, or 79p if using the app. Amenities at the Burton Wood services are pretty good. You've got obviously toilets, and you've got shops, WH Smith, Starbucks, and food from KFC. So not a bad stop if heading in or out of Liverpool. This leaves Burton Wood services in quite a strange place. It's great for Tesla drivers as you've got their supercharger network, but for all other EV drivers, it's lacking in your charging infrastructure. If only someone had a plan to fix that.